All right, Facebook, let's go to work, guys. Namaste. God bless. How are all of you? Happy Thursday. It's a special day today. Actually, every day is special. But it's National, I'm moving you forward without messing up my tripod. It's National Cheese Pizza Day. A big friggin' deal. But growing up in New Haven, don't hate me too much. Abits, it wasn't called pizza back then, meatball, it was abits. That was a staple. Well, basically everything we had every single day, literally. I mean, and you know, let's get an abits. I mean, that was, even though I'm half Rican, I fit in with the Italian mode really well, and that was our calling back then. But growing up in New Haven, yeah, I mean, but it wasn't just the Worcester Street, you know, kind of thing that they've commercialized now. It was the small pizzerias around there, and there was hundreds of them back then, literally on every corner. Everybody was making abits, and it was great because you had good ones, you had different ones, bad ones. They put an emphasis on the Worcester Street factor. You know, it was the whole area. And there's actually, you know, places in Florida that are making New Haven style pizza. Literally, they're shipping the water that they want to make the abits with. I mean, that's how desperate they are to create that. So it was such an easy, my point of this whole thing, an easy way of living back then. And honestly, with the internet, it just has made life so complicated. And if you guys really think about it, yeah, it's great for information. I use it specifically for information, to gather, like tonight's show. I've been messing with this friggin' thing for 2 days because I want to get to the cause and the meanings of these sages and these philosophers back then, who all the people now are basically trying to replicate. So I go back to the source, man, and like the Buddhas and Jesus and all these things, because people now, don't get me wrong, I mean, like myself, I mean, we're all trying to send out messages like this of inspiration and motivation to enhance everybody. You know, we don't want, you can't replicate, we can emulate, you know, people like the Buddhas and Jesus and all these sages back then, but we can never imitate. Just like abits. Like cheese pizza now is ketchup with cheese on it, basically, compared to what I grew up in. Not, you know, there's no comparison. But most importantly, times were just so simple back then. And now they become so complicated in a lot of ways. I've given up the aspect of fighting in general with anybody. You know what? If you think you're right, God bless you, take care. I'm not going to let it affect my peace. You guys create that kind of mentality in your life, because the ultimate receiver of that, how should we, pugnacious attitude about life, or the fear factor about life, or all these things that emotionally wreck you, that's one of the words out of the quote box tonight, ultimately hurt the meat suit that we're carrying. Because we are a spiritual being having a human experience. Not a human being having a spiritual experience. We are basically, in essence, encumbered with this beautiful meat suit that is very fragile to our emotions and vibration. And what these guys were telling us back then, especially Buddha, who lived, now there's speculation, 300 to 540 years before the life of Christ. And don't correct me if I'm wrong on the 540. It was literally a duration of a couple hundred years. They can't get it right, and I get that. I totally get that, because at the times back then, they were basically using rice paper and rock to write on and describe their lives in general and their philosophies in general. But Buddha knew something, and I posted one of his quotes the other day. Thank you, MSG, for a great shot on my computer screen there. But he knew something back then, and I wanted to define this for you guys to understand and realize that if you can step back in life, you're going to reap the most amazing rewards. In essence, your health. You're protecting that meat suit that we have right now. Even though it rejuvenates, you literally get a new body basically every 7 years, I think. And you correct me if I'm wrong on that. The body regenerates, just like fall. I'm wearing the orange for the pumpkin, man. Just like fall is coming in now to put nature to sleep, to rejuvenate it for its evolvement next year. Our bodies are the same way. But what gets in the way of that is the lifestyle or the environment that we're in. And most importantly, the emotions and the frequencies that we send out every single day. Emotion is just energy emotion, hence frequency. This quote out of the quote box tonight sounds so simplistic. You know, it's like, oh, that's so nice. It's a great way of thinking. But it's got a powerful meaning behind it. And it's from Buddha. And in my reel, I posted a lot of garbage cans, you know, with the shit smell and flies, because that's basically what we have to alleviate to keep this meat suit happy and healthy, to step back in life from all the competition and all the issues that are affecting us and focus, most importantly, on our true passions, desires, and our environment around us. That will dictate what kind of future and destiny we have, because it'll dictate what? Our moods, our feelings, and what we're sending out every day. You surround yourself in a boxing ring, all you can do is fight. You surround yourself in peace, all you can create is more peace. That's the whole point of all this. You alleviate all the drama in your life as much as you can. And I had been taking out the garbage for a long time, man. Not to hurt anybody. No, not at all. Not at all. It's just, you got to remember that you're here for yourself, to be a better self, to project out to the world, to create better. You feel better, you attract better. Does that make sense? So out of the quote box tonight, from that long banter, I apologize, but I have a lot of notes here. But this will all make amazing sense, because, you know, Buddha and Jesus, and I noted this because I did a search, is what Buddha was teaching and what Jesus was teaching. It's basically the same. It's literally the same, just articulated differently. They had different followers. It was a different period of time, those several hundred years per se, but they're all telling us the same thing. How you feel is what you attract. And out of the quote box tonight, if you want to fly, you give up everything that weighs you down. This, to me, I was trying to figure out, what is Buddha talking about? What is he trying to articulate in that quote, besides, you know, if you want to fly, you know, all the people and this and that, you got to get rid of. No. That's why your environment that surrounds you is so important to your mental well-being, your physical well-being, your spirituality, your physicality. It's so important in your life to surround yourself only with what you want to become, and to do that every single day. And you are going to reap the most amazing rewards. You're going to feel better. You are going to act better. In other words, articulate your life better to attract better things in your life. And what Buddha was saying, if you want to fly is noted in the dictionary is to flee or escape from, avoid, hence, or shun. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. What he was talking about, which was so brilliant, I loved it, because they put these riddles in there, man. I felt like when I finally figured this out, I had like the Karate Kid, you know, Mr. Miyagi behind me. Oh, you did good, grasshopper. Because this is what he was talking about. He was talking about frequency and vibration. If you want to fly, in other words, if you want to get up in your thought pattern, you got to avoid lower frequencies and vibrations. These are the ones that literally will destroy you from the inside out. If you wonder why you're getting sick all the time, or you have chronic illnesses, or you just don't feel right, and I had this for decades, I couldn't figure out why. It's because of the vibration and the emotions I was sending out every single day. I couldn't fly high because I didn't know how to give up what weighed me down until I realized what the difference was. And it's all about vibration, your aura, your karma, your climate, your mood. What surrounds you is what you're going to bring to you. This is what he was grasping at when he realized that. And what he was talking about was vibrational frequencies. And if you guys break down the quote, you're gonna realize what he was saying. He was giving us a quantum metaphysical lesson on how to feel better and to attract better. That's why he was the God of peace, per se. He didn't deal with violence. People, you know, begged to be in his presence just to feel the energy, but they didn't articulate it back then. They put it in words like this, like they do in scripture, in an esoteric way where we couldn't understand it. Therefore, other teachers were putting it out in their own fashion. What I did for the last, literally for an hour before showtime, I finally figured it out after going through all these papers and saying, wait, what was Buddha trying to warn us about? What we're sending out with our energy is what we're going to bring back into our reality. As I mentioned, our vibration, our aura is our karma, climate, and mood that we send out every day is what we're going to bring back every day. This repetitive series on America's Mentor, I like to articulate in so many different ways, but like with Buddha and scripture, it's all the same thing. And when you realize it's all the same thing, you'll start to grasp it, which I did, and it was hard, but I finally did. But the question is, what are the high vibrational frequencies to live by? Ones that will keep us well. Like he was saying, if you want to fly, you have to live in these vibrational frequencies. When you realize that, I think it was Tesla who said, or Einstein, energy is everything and that's all there is. When you realize that we are just a vibrational electric tower that is giving out frequency every day with our emotions and our mood and the aura that we surround ourselves with, we'll realize what we're attracting, most importantly, how we're feeling. When you start feeling better, you start attracting better. And Buddha was an expert at explaining, but his own way, mind you, in this philosophy kind of way of how to attract better in your life. And he basically gave us a lesson in metaphysics. It was fantastic. Vibrational frequencies. Think about this for yourself. You can ask yourself what you're living in every day as far as a vibrational frequency, because that's creating your emotions, your energy in motion. Vibrational frequencies, high vibrational frequencies. Think about this. This is what I had to go to. I had to force myself into this friggin' pool because I kept living in the low variation of frequencies, therefore attracting all those kind of situations and circumstances, and most importantly, synchronicities, because the patterns of thought create your patterns in life. High vibrational frequencies, think of this: joy, love, gratitude, and passion. Everyone says, I am all that. Are you? No, really, you have to ask if you got to be honest with yourself, because what I mentioned in the high vibrational frequencies, you go to the low ones, the destroying ones, the ones that literally make you physically ill every day. If you're living in these, you got to be honest with yourself. If I'm always sick, what kind of emotional frequency am I living in? You're living in these: fear, anger, guilt, sadness. I can go on and on and on. What he's saying is, in order to fly, you have to live in these high vibrational frequencies of peace, joy, love, passion, abundance, and all these things that will help you feel better. Therefore, you are going to attract better. And when you realize that, I mean, this is what I love bringing. I love sharing this kind of information, because it can be such a quantum leap for you if you realize what kind of energy you're emitting, because from that are the four most powerful emotions. We are up against a monster, and I'm not saying it to scare Meatball. I'm being honest here. We are up against a monster. Like I said, life has become so complicated around us. We're surrounded with news literally 24/7 and then some to how should we say, adhere to these emotions. Number one is fear, anger, and sorrow. Those are the top three most powerful emotions that the majority of people are living by. Ask yourself the question, are you living in these? Because joy is number 4. I mean, this is crazy. Everybody's saying, I'm a happy, passionate person, but I'm on 15 medications every day. You've got to ask yourself the question. You've got to be honest with yourself. What emotions are you living in? Because fear is you're living in a future that hasn't happened yet. Anger is what happened to you. You just can't get over that shit. And sorrow is what people did to you or what has happened to you. You keep reliving in those low frequencies, you can only attract more situations to match that. This is why it's imperative. If you want to fly, you've got to give up what weighs you down. Put it to rest the best you can. Let it go. Most importantly, let it go with a blessing in life. Easier said than done, but that's why transformation is such a repetitive process. It's daily work, but the rewards are endless. I was doing it. I didn't even realize I was doing it for years. literally cleaning out my closet of certain situations, people, forgiving, letting go. If you tell yourself to forgive a certain person that hurt you 20 years ago, really bad, and you keep telling yourself every day to forgive and let go, I forgive you, eventually you're going to do it. And this is the great thing, the subconscious, it's all just, you just keep reopening the subconscious vault of thought, and you're living by the back end instead of the front end. And when this makes sense to you guys, you'll start to realize why things are happening in your life, why you look the way you look, why you feel the way you feel. It's all based upon what Buddha was saying. If you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. In other words, if you want to live in the high vibrations, these are the ones you live in. The passions, the joy, the love, the gratitude. The low vibrations are the ones that kill you, that hurt you. The sorrow, the pain, the anger, the hurt, all these things that we live in every day, most importantly, the fear. This is why the 24 spectrum of news makes us scared. I mean, there's a whole quest in that matter. They're trying to make us be attached to that fear every single day. You are in control of what you let in. Remember that. It's nobody else's fault. If your life didn't turn out the way you thought it would be, it's because of the way you thought it would be. When you realize what Buddha was saying and you start adhering to the next word out of the quote box, not in the quote box, but most importantly, what I featured on Kurt's show the other night, integrity. Integrity is a hard word nowadays. Integrity, and people think of integrity, honestly, or honesty, excuse me, is one of the synonyms of integrity. You start living your life with integrity, a firm adherence to a code of values, your code of living only in the upper echelon of emotions and feelings, and surrounding yourself with that, and being truthful and having a true character mentality of who you really are. I mean, all of us should have been trained as professional actors growing up, because those guys can literally go from themselves to a different person. And imagine doing that with your dreams. You can literally you can act out that different person every day before it's even here to bring it here, because you're in that state of mind. When you start realizing how powerful you are, how powerful the minds are, most importantly, how powerful your frequencies and emotions are, it should be a good heads up for us to realize that, to not allow in all the drama that's around us. What will change the world is the collective consciousness. In other words, the mass thinking. You get a mass thinking of love, that can only change for the better. Now is a mass thinking of fear and politics and fighting and competing. Think about what's going on in the world. You change the collective consciousness of one state, and that'll resonate throughout the others. And I'm not here to preach, guys. I'm here to share information, because people don't want to be preached to. I'm just here. I want to give information for you guys to truly understand who is the victim of all of this information of the world. We are. We are the victim by how we react to it. So it's something for you guys to think about. What you're letting in is going to eventually come back out. If you keep letting in fear, more fearful situations can only manifest from that. Check out any poverty section and you'll realize the repetitive thought of fear and how it's growing every single day around them with incidents and circumstances to match the collective consciousness of a neighborhood. This is what I'm talking about. You go into an opulent neighborhood, what do you hear? Absolutely friggin' nothing. It's quiet. It's peaceful. Think about what environment you're in, and you realize what you're bringing in, guys. So I'm going to let you guys go. It's Thursday. I almost said Friday. It's Thursday, guys. americasmentor _radio on Instagram. I hope this helps. At least let it open the door to an opinion to help you guys realize what you're sending out every single day, guys. So as I mentioned with America's Mentor on Instagram, at America's Mentor on X, guys. Follow me, Jerry Maldonado 2, for unique information to help you to your destination. And a big shout out to the couple hundred new followers to America's Mentor. Guys, thank you so much. I can't wait, man. I'm in packing mode now. Actually, I'm not. I haven't even started packing. I'm moving in like 3 weeks to a nice bigger place for Tori and I with a nice new studio. I can't friggin' wait. But I got to pack first, guys. So happy Thursday to you. I'm going to go make a pizza. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you soon.